Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla and the news show Overflow episode 52. Tesla shows some really strong numbers coming out of China, and when it comes to revenue, no one is close, not even the Chinese. One that is not doing so good in the EV race is GM. Even though this is the year that GM's Mary Barra said that they would overtake Tesla. But they're not even close. And SpaceX had another Starship test flight that even NVIDIA's CEO came to watch. And the Chinese are grabbing more market share in Europe, and Tesla introduced Mad Max mode for version 14.1.2 of their full self-driving system. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Tesla is showing some really strong numbers in China, and when it comes to revenue, the Chinese competition doesn't come close. I have shown this chart before from Roland that shows how South Korea has become the biggest market outside of the US and China for Tesla. But to understand just how big the Chinese market is for Tesla, he put China into the same chart and suddenly everything else fades away. So this gives you an idea of just how big China is for Tesla and just how well Tesla is doing there. Yes, I know there are some people who are saying all year that Tesla sales are collapsing in China, but they are actually doing extremely well in China. In September, Tesla delivered 51,000 Model Ys. That was actually up 6% year over year, boosted by the Model YL. That the same people claiming that Tesla's demand problem in China also was a flop. But now Tesla's Model Y lineup is actually up after 2 months under last year's numbers. In September, the Model YL sold just over 8,000 units, so not bad for the first month on the market. And when we look at wholesales, we can see that in China, the biggest car market on the planet, BYD is of course still the king, but Tesla comes in as the second biggest BEV brand in China. And last week we can see that Tesla once again was over last year's numbers with 11,300 units sold. So we can see that Tesla's Q4 is above Q4 of last year. So we seem to be heading into an all-time high in Q3 in China too. So that's very cool. But one thing to keep in mind when we look at Tesla versus the Chinese, as the Western brand is nowhere to be found on the top selling list of BEVs in China, so it is really just Tesla versus the Chinese. But AJ shared this great chart that shows BEVs in China by model and how much revenue each model is producing. And then you can see that Tesla is really close to the only one that really has a sustainable business case with just one model in China. As AJ wrote, Tesla's Model Y sales in China just pulled in an estimated $4.6 billion in revenue in Q3 alone, nearly double that of the closest EV rival. Even crazier, the Model Y generated about as much revenue as the number 4 through number 9 best-selling EVs combined. One model, 1 quarter, absolute domination. BYD has 0 models among the top 5 most revenue-generating vehicles. BYD's most revenue-generating EV is the Seagull, bringing in $805 million, or 18% of the Model Y's revenue. Yes, Tesla's Model Y is just the most blinding success on the planet. No other EV is doing what Tesla's Model Y is. No one is close, none of the Western brand, none of the Chinese brand. Tesla's Model Y is in a league of its own, the most successful BEV in China, and some people want to tell you that it is not a success and have a demand problem. Like AJ also wrote, the Tesla Model Y nearly dethroned China's number 1 best-selling car, despite costing 4 times more. No car in the top 10 cost even half of Tesla's Model Y, midpoint of price range. Tesla, Elon made the iPhone of the car world. New data shows Model Y was once again China's top-selling vehicle after the ultra-cheap Wuling Mini EV, a tiny budget car priced at just a quarter of the Model Y. Sales figures? Wuling Mini EV 51,700, Tesla's Model Y 51,100. So that's just 1% different. And in terms of revenue, the Model Y isn't just leading, it's dominating. No other vehicles come close. This isn't just a win, it's proof in what is now the most fiercely competitive auto market on earth. Tesla continues to outperform legacy giants and local upstarts alike. The Model Y's multi-year run at the top isn't a fluke, it's a signal. Tesla's edge in EVs and automotive innovation is still unmatched despite what you read in the mainstream media. This is the chart mainstream media doesn't want you to see in their Tesla is crushed by BYD narrative. The truth is, Tesla crushes it in China, BYD's home market, with just 2 models, Model Y ranking in $2 billion plus alone, more than any single BYD EV. But BYD's 30 models swarm adds up to $3.1 billion total in revenue, 11.8% ahead of Tesla's $2.8 billion, with basically only 2 volume models. Dead wortheth breath in the EV wars. Whose strategy wins long term? Tesla is cash flow positive, BYD is not. Yeah, and people think that making a new version of the world's best-selling car that is cheaper is a bad idea and won't sell. I think they are sadly mistaken, as this car is the most sought-after EV on the planet. Nothing comes close, and now they have just made its addressable market bigger. This is going to be fun. One that is not doing so great in the EV race is GM. You know, the one that was supposed to lead and it mattered. But they just issued yet another profit warning. As AJ wrote, General Motors issues profit warning. $1.6 billion hit from EV overcapacity. GM just filed a Form 8K informing that it approved changes of $1.6 billion in GM's North America in the 3 month ending September the 30th, 2025. GM expect it will be unable to sell its EVs after policy changes. This $1.6 billion change comes only 6 months after GM recognized $5 billion in change in China. It is true what Biden said, marry your lead and it matters. We are surprised to find out that he meant write-offs. GM shareholders and employees should be proud of their incredible leader, Mary Barra. Yeah, like AJ also shared, this is not just North America that GM is doing this in. As he wrote, GM booked $7.1 billion in write-off and other restructuring changes in the last 12 months, the company's SEC filing shows. Here is the breakdown. $4 billion in China's joint venture restructuring, $1.6 billion in the North American EV sector, as we just talked about, and almost $800 million Buick dealer restructuring, $520 million in Cruise restructuring, $200 million in other restructuring, and $47 million in GMI plant wind down. Do you still wonder why GM's PE ratio is so low? So GM can't sell the EVs they have, even though Tesla is still selling many times more EVs in the US than GM does. So Tesla is back growing in EV sales, and GM doesn't know what to do now when EV tax credits is gone. Yes, Mary truly lied, and it mattered. GM is nowhere near their promised target. Remember this clip?
Well, I think first off, what we've seen and what that represents is that people do believe in EVs, and there's a huge opportunity there. So at General Motors, we're just focused on executing well. We've, really worked to listen and understand what the customer's looking for. And remember, we're not necessarily just selling at the premium end. We're going to have, electric vehicles affordable at $30,000. And then our joint venture or joint partnership with Honda, we're going to be doing something even more affordable than that with our affordable electric vehicle. And so, I think it's a little bit longer game. We're taking all the steps to do it right, to make sure we're positioned to have a full portfolio of vehicles and win. And we have said that, by mid-decade, we will be selling more EVs in this country than anyone else.
Including Tesla.
Including Tesla.
Well, if you're not keeping score, well, Tesla sold 195,000 units in the US in Q3 2025, and GM sold 66,500. So Tesla is still selling about 3 times more EVs than GM, even though Mary said they would be selling more EVs than Tesla by now. Guess she was wrong, and all of us who said that was not going to happen was right. And it also seems like Elon was right when he, back in January of 2025, during the Q4 earnings call, said, "I think it will be devastating for our competitors and for Tesla slightly, but long term it will probably actually help Tesla. That would be my guess." And that is the removal of the EV tax credit. So it seems like he was right, as they are all backtracking now. But Q3 did become the big growth quarter thanks to the ending of the EV tax credit, as Sawyer also wrote. As expected, due to the federal EV tax credit ending, EV sales volume in the US hit an all-time high in Q3 2025, 438,487 units sold. EV sales volume in Q3 was up 40.7% from the previous quarter and higher by almost 30% year over year. The Q3 record beats the prior peak set in Q4 2024 by nearly 20%. During the third quarter, electric vehicles accounted for 10.5% of total vehicle sales, also a new record and a significant increase from the 8.6% share in the same period last year. So going to be very interesting to see what will happen now in Q4, as the US has finally hit that important inflection point of 10% market share. And SpaceX continues to do the impossible with yet another Starship launch. So I hope you all saw the Starship launch, where everything went as planned, and both the booster and the Starship made a soft landing back in the Indian Ocean. Always so inspiring to see. And Elon Musk also photobombed the live stream at the event.
And safely integrate launch and re-entry operations into the airspace.
And we've got a special guest here. We're live.
What's up, guys?
How's it going? Good to see you, boss.
Hi.
Hey. How's work going?
Good. We're live right now.
What the?
Yeah. Getting ready for Flight 11. How are you feeling for it?
Good. This is the first time that I'm going to be actually outside standing and watching the rocket. Normally I'm in mission control and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But now I'll be standing out the bottom there.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
it's really going to be much more visceral.
Yeah. You're gonna feel
Great
it.
place
It's
to
gonna
watch.
be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be awesome.
All
We'll be in here this time, but usually we're out there watching. Yeah.
right, sounds good.
Good
All
luck
right, later.
and have fun.
Have fun.
All right. So that was an exciting cameo there.
But NVIDIA CEO was also at the Starship launch to see his first rocket launch, and he brought a little gift for Elon as well.
How's it going?
Good, how's it going?
Is this your office?
This is the rocket factory, the SpaceX rocket factory at Starbase, Texas.
I just want everybody in the world to hear that you said I build bigger things than you do.
You do. The data centers are very enormous.
It all started
Yeah.
in 2016. I announced
Right.
the world's first AI supercomputer,
DGX.
the DGX-1.
The most advanced computer that anyone has ever built.
It was just crickets,
Crickets.
except for one person.
I was like,
And it was
oh,
you.
that sounds like a great idea.
So I built another DGX,
Great.
and this thing is mighty. This is the new DGX Spark.
So that's the whole thing? Wow.
5 times the computational power of DGX-1. 40 watts, not 40.
40, wow.
DGX-1 to DGX Spark. It's so fun hanging out. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Starbase.
I can't wait to see my first rocket launch. It's just incredible.
But as Lewis also wrote about the rocket industry, rocket reusability isn't an optimization, it's a phase transition. When you throw rockets away, you are limited by factory throughput, 16 rockets per year. Reuse them and you enter a different regime of launch volume, economics and ambition. Yes, that is what SpaceX is doing, and so far, only SpaceX. And one also reported to this post and wrote, the media said Tesla would fail. today is worth $1.4 trillion. The media said SpaceX would fail. Today it's dominating the space industry. The media said X would fail. Today it's #1 source for news. They never stop lying and they are always wrong. And Elon replied, just lucky. Yeah, never bet against Elon Musk. He continues to make the impossible late. And SpaceX also did their 500th landing of the Falcon rocket booster. Very impressive, and we are still waiting for the rest of the industry to catch up. But for SpaceX, it's just another Tuesday. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. So Mercedes showed off a new concept car. But who really cares about Mercedes concept cars anymore? I mean, this is what they did last time. From the concept to the production concept to the boring looking thing here in the bottom. Yes, let's see what it looks like when it comes out. And if this is the future of their mobility, it better come with full self-driving system and not just their level 3 system that can only drive on highway at low speed behind another car, or it will simply not be part of the future at all. And Tesla showed off their lighter interior option for the Tesla Model YL that is now available to order in China for $1,120. So a bit more grey than the white option. I really like this look. This would definitely be the interior I would go for with the Model Y if I get a chance to buy it here in Europe. And if you live in Texas, you have a new EV incentive after the $7,500 EV tax credit has gone away, as you can now get $2,500 off your price of a Tesla if you live in Texas. And Sachs shared that full self-driving version 14.1.2 Mad Max mode is amazing and I love it. Perfect for LA traffic. As Hogg also wrote, you will love it even more during the daytime. Denser traffic really showcase its decision making. Nice. Yes, I always thought that full self-driving here in Europe was useless in high traffic as it does not react fast enough. This Mad Max mode seems to fix exactly that. Nice. And the Chinese are coming to Europe and taking more and more market share, as Michael Dawn wrote on X. Chinese brand took 13% in the UK new car market in September. Dealers here tells me it will be 30% in 2 years. MG, Chery and BYD lead the way. But he also wrote, this week I asked a senior executive at a major Chinese automaker which competitor they feared and respected the most, and the answer was Geely. Geely portfolio of brands sold almost 3 million vehicles in the first 3 quarters of 2025, up 29% year over year. That's getting ready to pass Ford territory. And we see that Tesla is starting to make some advertising in Australia for their full self-driving supervised software. This one was seen in Melbourne Airport, saying some buttons start a car, others start the future. And this is at the same time that we see full self-driving subscription has just started in Australia. But let's just hear what Ryan had to say about it.
All right, it's official. Tesla Australia have just announced that subscription options for full self-driving are now available for $149 a month. And if you already have enhanced autopilot, it's only $75 per month. So this is going to be a great option for people that have been waiting to try out FSD, but didn't want to fork out the 10K. So yeah, very excited for Hardware 4 owners at this stage to test it out and see what they think. I think everyone's going to be pretty mind blown.
Yeah, I think when people try this out for 30 days, it is going to be hard to go back to drive without it. I think this could bring in some really nice recurring profit for Tesla. And legacy automakers are being sued about emission cheating yet again, as AJ wrote. Ouch, Mercedes, Ford, Stellantis, Peugeot, Citroën, Renault and Nissan go on trial over emission cheat claims. All 4 automakers deny accusation. Of course, the main trial is due to conclude in December, but legal argument will not be heard until March 2026. And Germany will get a new tax credit for BEVs below 45,000 euros net cost. This means it has to cost below 53,000 euros gross. You get 4,000 euros per vehicle. Applications are accepted to be submitted starting in January 2026, with the bonus being paid retroactively after the vehicle's registration. As with the previous electric car bonus, the Federal Office for Economic Affairs and Export Control is responsible. That means that the new Model Y Standard and Model 3 rear-wheel drive cost 36,000 euros. Now that is some really good value for money right there. And Elon responded to this post about how China added 295,000 industrial robots last year, the US 34,000 and the UK 2,500. But Elon wrote, "Wait until you see what Tesla does with Optimus." Yes, what Tesla has planned for Optimus will make all these numbers look very tiny, and we will probably get a sneak peek of what's to come in 2026. And Tesla changes the lives of so many people, also within the company. Here is just a nice little story from a Tesla employee, because as you probably all know, when you get hired by Tesla, you also get some Tesla stock, and that has made so many Tesla employees getting quite rich.
I was the first out of 5 kids to buy my own house. I'm living my dream. This would have not been possible without Tesla stock. Hi, my name is Kyoko Orange. I've been at Tesla for 12 years. I started in plastics department. I worked my way up. I was a production associate and then a team lead and then became a supervisor. Growing up for me, so there's 5 of us. We just didn't have it like other kids. We, all 5 of us kids, used to live in one of our family friends' trailers. We just knew our parents couldn't afford it. So I started at Tesla. I grew with all the opportunities, and I was able to start a family of my own. Now I have 4 kids. I bought a Model Y, so now we can fit my whole family in one car. We bought our condo. Now we bought our house. Tesla stock was able to help us put down a huge down payment for our house, about 3/4. It's a good feeling to have, to be able to provide for your kids, seeing a smile and laughter on their faces. My dad, he had passed, so I wish he was here to see. I think he would have been really proud, because they never had, a house they own, and his daughter has her own house. So I think he would have been really proud.
Not in a union, but still some of the best paid employees in the automotive industry. That is all that's time for in this Overflow News Show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel, or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out, add some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheets, also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.